Space games have always been popular, and although most of these games are still months, if not years away from release, they will have a huge impact on the gaming industry once they appear. We have carefully selected the 10 most anticipated upcoming titles in which we will explore the mysteries and depths of the universe. There's a lot to cover, so let us get started right away. Starting off with number 10, we have Everspace 2, a single-player open-world space shooter. The main difference compared to the previous version is the absence of roguelike elements. This time you'll explore the huge open world in your spaceship, with more focus on RPG elements like leveling, classes, skills and talents, and a Diablo-like loot system. Combat is more polished, and each battle requires a different approach, depending on whether you are fighting drones or huge capital ships. The main campaign is expected to last between 20 and 30 hours, with optional side missions, exploration, and other activities. It is worth noting that there will be no multiplayer or co-op modes, since the developers want to make sure that the single-player experience is a complete success. The game is still in the early access phase, and an optional demo is already available for download. You can check out the links below. Everspace 2 will be released in early 2023 on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Next, at number 9, we have first Star Wars game on the list. Star Wars Eclipse is a new action-adventure, multiple-character branching narrative game set in the High Republic era of the iconic Star Wars galaxy. The game is being developed by Quantic Dream, which are known for several interactive storytelling titles such as Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human. We strongly believe that Star Wars Eclipse will fall under the same treatment and will be more of a narrative-driven story that unfolds before our eyes while we make limited choices between a few select options at certain key moments in the game. So if you are hoping for an action-packed RPG title in a style of the Jedi Fallen Order, you might want to keep your expectations in check. Nevertheless, the Star Wars universe has incredibly rich lore, and the amount of fantastic stories and moments it can produce is endless. Star Wars Eclipse is coming to PC and consoles, with a release date yet to be announced. Coming up at number 8 is Kerbal Space Program 2, the sequel to the highly acclaimed realistic space flight simulation game. Kerbal Space Program was probably the reason why the interest in rocket science in the general public went up considerably. Besides the enhanced graphics, some of the key features include better tutorials for new players, improved UI, and revamped assembly and flight interfaces. And for the first time, we will embark on an interstellar journey that goes far beyond the original Kerbal system. A pretty big feature will be the ability to establish colonies on celestial bodies, collect resources to build structures, space stations, habitations, and unique fuel types. This way, deep space exploration can be executed in the way you are most comfortable with. As in the original, we will have a multiplayer co-op option and full modding support. Kerbal Space Program 2 will be released in early 2023 and will only be available on PC at launch, with a console version planned for the future. At number 7 is Star Wars Jedi Survivor, a third-person action-adventure game set in a galaxy far, far away. The story takes place 5 years after the events depicted in Jedi Fallen Order. Cal must stay one step ahead of the Empire's constant pursuit, while continuing to feel the burden of being one of the last remaining Jedi in the galaxy. In the trailer, we can see that this time our hero carries a blaster, as well as a lightsaber. This is probably because he loses his lightsaber relatively early on, which we saw in a duel with a one-armed Jedi with a red lightsaber. We can look forward to completely new gameplay elements with this iconic weapon from the Star Wars universe. At the end of the trailer, we see Cal in a dimly lit room watching a long gray-haired person in a Bacta tank. If you look closely, you can see that the person in the tank appears to have only one arm, so there's probably a connection between the Jedi Cal was fighting and the person in the tank. Is this the survivor that the game is named after? Star Wars Jedi Survivor will be released on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X in 2023. Following at number 6, we have Homeworld 3, the sequel to one of the most influential science fiction real-time strategy games. When it was released, Homeworld used revolutionary 6 degrees of freedom for troop placement, allowing us to go above or below the galactic plane to secure victory conditions. The main story followed a continuous narrative. All the assets you had at the end of a completed objective, such as ships and resources, were carried over to the next level. This was quite a challenge, and it was important to have multiple saves during each mission if things went south. Being reckless was never an option for success in Homeworld. The graphics of Homeworld 3 are simply stunning. We'll be able to see more details than ever before. On our journey, we'll encounter numerous remains of huge megastructures that could serve as potential cover from the enemy fleet or as a starting point for our own ambushes. Homeworld 3 will only be released for Windows PC and is scheduled for release sometime in the first half of 2023. Before we continue, if you liked this video, please consider hitting that like button, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and enable all notifications by clicking the notification bell icon. At number 5 is Beyond Good and Evil 2, an upcoming action-adventure video game. It is a prequel to Beyond Good and Evil, which was released in 2003. The game is set in a huge open world and is played from the third-person perspective, with more traditional RPG elements compared to the first game. The world is huge and spans several planets within a solar system. Players can own multiple ships that help them cross these huge distances. Exploration will be a big theme, and similar to Star Citizen and No Man's Sky, you'll be able to fly your ship seamlessly from planet to space without loading screens. Back in space, your mothership awaits you, which will serve both as your base of operations and as a means of transportation between planets. Besides the single-player mode, the game will also be playable online in co-op mode with your friends. Beyond Good and Evil 2 is probably the most ambitious game Ubisoft has ever decided to make, and that is perhaps one of the reasons why it has gone through production hell all these years. Nevertheless, it is still in active development, and any fears that it might be cancelled can be put to rest for now, as Ubisoft itself has assured. There is a small chance that we will see new information about the game at the Ubisoft Forward livestream event, which will take place this year on September 10th. Next, at number 4, we have Falling Frontier, a sci-fi RTS that created a lot of hype when it was first introduced in 2019. The game's insanely good-looking graphics partially resemble the visual style of the Expanse TV series. Setting up proper logistics in Falling Frontier will be crucial for preparing and executing important strategic decisions. Create complex supply networks to feed your economy and defend it from enemy ships. Battles combine intuitive controls with deep space mechanics that respect zero-G physics. This is not a fast-paced game, and every combat decision should be well thought out. Line-of-sight mechanics are fully utilized on a celestial level. Hide your base in the shadow of the planet to avoid detection, or plan FTL jumps between these blind spots for a flanking maneuver. Set up reconnaissance stations to scan and detect enemies and receive early warnings of impending danger. Other notable features are the customization of ships and the importance of assigning and managing crew. Each officer has his own traits and abilities, making the selection of personnel a crucial factor for an efficient fleet composition. We look forward to playing this insanely good-looking title once it hits the Windows PC market in late 2022. Back in December 2020, BioWare released a teaser trailer for the new Mass Effect game. This trailer and a poster that was released afterward hold some hints about the sequel. Gary McKay, general manager of BioWare, revealed that the poster contains at least 5 surprises, all of which point to an amazing future in the Mass Effect universe. In the image, we see a ship and a crew of 4 approaching a crater that resembles a Geth helmet. In front of them lies the corpse of a dead Geth, which could indicate the return of this synthetic alien civilization that was both friend and foe in the trilogy. However, the most interesting surprise is the body lying very close to the crater. And if this crater is a destroyed mass relay, a body lying there could be the catalyst that will propel new story forward. Our guesswork must stop here to avoid further spoilers, but based on clues we have available at the moment, we can only speculate that the new game will continue the story of the original trilogy, which will put Mass Effect Andromeda in an even more awkward position if this is true. The new Mass Effect is still far from release, and we will keep you updated as soon as we have more information. At number 2, we have the last Star Wars title on the list, a remake of the fantastic role-playing game Knights of the Old Republic from 2003. The story takes place almost 4,000 years before the formation of the Galactic Empire, where Darth Malak, a Dark Lord of the Sith, has unleashed a Sith armada against the Galactic Republic. The player character, as a Jedi, must venture to different planets in the galaxy to defeat Malak. At the time, the game was a huge success. Even today, it is considered one of the best Star Wars games of all time. Storytelling and gameplay were groundbreaking, paving the way for many future RPGs. So it is no surprise that fans have high hopes for this remake. And this would be a great opportunity to improve some elements of the original. To name a few, moral choices could have deeper everlasting consequences that affect the companions and connect the story in a completely new way. Combat should also be refined and brought to a modern standard, with character customization that offers more options than in the original. As for the actual release of the game, we're afraid we don't have good news, as the latest available information indicates that the development of the game is currently paused and postponed indefinitely. The reason for this radical decision is sheer dissatisfaction with the first playable demo, which, according to Aspire, the game's main developer, is not yet where they would like it to be. Although the excitement and demand for this iconic game is real and present, the fate of Knights of the Old Republic is currently unknown, and we will continue to inform you as soon as new, hopefully positive information arrives. And finally, at the number 1 spot, we have Starfield, the first new IP from Bethesda in 25 years. You can check our first impressions in a detailed breakdown video. Starfield is an epic single-player role-playing game set in space in the year 2330. The story revolves around the player joining a faction called Constellation on a quest to find strange artifacts scattered throughout the galaxy and solve the mystery that will change humanity forever. The world consists of over 100 star systems with more than 1,000 planets, while some key locations, such as the 4 major cities, have been handcrafted and tailored for the best single-player experience. Bethesda used advanced procedural generation in other areas. To visit all these places, you'll have access to multiple fully customizable spaceships suitable for interstellar jumps. Bear in mind that you won't be able to use them to seamlessly travel from space to the planet's surface, and vice versa. Instead, a short cutscene will appear during the automatic landing and takeoff sequences. The game boasts detailed character customization, with classic RPG elements such as skills with different ranks and additional traits based on your character's background. Other important features, like resource gathering and crafting, base building, ship hijacking, and full mod support, are all included in this epic saga that is scheduled for 2023 release on Xbox and PC. So which of these games are you most looking forward to? Let us know down in the comments below. Many thanks for watching, as we really hope you found this type of content helpful. So hit that like button if you did, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Until next time, have a ton of fun!